left off last time was we had finished reading chapter 1, where we learned about our main character, Drita, who had just moved internationally. So she had left her home country. She's now in the United States, and things are not as she expected that they would be. When she gets to the U.S., she is disappointed and saddened, and she misses her home, she misses where she grew up. Things here are just not as she expected. So now we're going to move on to chapter 2. Chapter 2, Mapsy. If you ask me, the most unlucky, annoying day of the week has got to be Monday. Spelling quizzes, bad hair days, bologna sandwiches for lunch. It seems like the worst stuff gets saved up for Mondays. Stormy Monday is what my grandma always calls it. She even got a little song she sings around the house all about Mondays. Oh, it's Stormy Monday, I'm feeling oh so sad. Lord, it's Stormy Monday, I'm feeling oh so sad. Blues are raining down on me, and I'm feeling oh so mad. When I was 7, I thought that song was just about a rainy day that happened to be on a Monday, but now that I'm a 4th grader, I know exactly what that song means. It means Mondays are bad news. Today is no different. When I get up, my daddy is there reading the paper while my grandmother makes some eggs. Usually my dad is gone by the time I get up, but not today. Good morning, Maxie, my dad says real cheerful and puts down his paper. I think to myself, uh-oh, now what is this? My grandmother is in the kitchen acting all busy over at the sink, but I can tell she's hanging on every word. Okay, what did I do this time, I say, and I'm wondering if he looked in his pipe box yet and found out that I broke his big fruitwood pipe. It really was an accident. I was just playing. Ha ha, Daddy says, rubbing on my head. You didn't do anything, my smart girl. Can a dad talk to his only daughter? Now I know. It's something really bad. Maxie, I have a friend I want you to meet, he says. Who? You mean like Uncle Herbie? I say, thinking maybe I'm going to go bowling again. My Uncle Herbie is my dad's oldest friend. He's got a purple bowling ball with his initials on it and has a doorbell at his house that he can play a whole song. My daddy coughs like he's got a piece of toast stuck in his throat. No, Maxie, not Uncle Herbie. A woman friend. Oh, I say, and I look down at my eggs. Her name is Lisa. She works at the bank with me. I think you'll like her, honey. I really do. She even has a little boy, 4 years old. I push my egg over to the side looking for the white stuff. Sometimes when my grandma makes scrambled eggs, she doesn't cook them all the way through, which I hate. Oh, baby girl, aren't you going to say something? Daddy asks. Grandma, you didn't cook these eggs enough, I say. Answer your father, my grandma says. Congratulations, Daddy, I say, reaching for my juice. Can't wait to meet her. I'm sure she's a real fine person. My dad shoots Grandma a look, and no one says anything else about no Lisa after that, which is just fine with me. Go on, get dressed, Maxie, Grandma says, and no dawdling this time. I don't want to be late. Dawdling is what my grandma calls it when you're late going different places, like school and piano lessons. In my family, I got a reputation for dawdling. My grandma says it happens when I'm upset about something, but that's not true. I just like to take my time doing basically everything, like getting dressed in the morning. Inside my room, I open my top drawer to look for some socks, but it's empty because my grandma didn't do the laundry yet this week. Then I spy one of my new rainbow toe socks my daddy just bought me lying under my bookshelf. I really like those toe socks. Outside the door, Grandma and Daddy are talking. Gerald, she needs more time, says my grandma. How much time does she need? It's been 3 years already, my dad says back. 3 years is nothing for a child, Grandma says. Blah, 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 blah. It seems like my grandmother and Daddy are always fighting about me lately. Usually, my daddy is saying I've got to be more grown up, and my grandma is saying, no way. I don't because of what happened when I was 7. Sometimes I agree with my daddy, sometimes I agree with Grandma, but most of the time, I think they both have a point. I start looking around for my other toe sock, but I can't find it anywhere. She needs to think of something besides herself once in a while, and I don't mean that hamster, my daddy says. Gerald, my grandma says, because you're not supposed to yell in the house, especially when the little one's around. Over by the window, there's Cupcake, waving at me from her habit trail. Cupcake is my dwarf hamster. I named her that because she is so white and fluffy that she looks good enough to eat. Ever since Cupcake escaped and hid under the radiator, I don't think my daddy likes her too much. Want to go in your exercise ball? I asked Cupcake. Cupcake sticks her nose out of her nest and sniffs at me. In hamster language, that's definitely a yes. Real careful, I lift the top of her cage and take her out. Squeak, says Cupcake. I put her on my shoulder because I'm trying to train her to ride around up there. Only thing is, she doesn't really like it too much. She decides to run down my back. Hey, I say, and lean over so she doesn't fall off and hurt herself. Where you going? I ask her, because now she's running down my leg and onto the floor. She just wrinkles her nose and laughs at me. Then she goes right under the bed. Wait! I go and I dive after her. Wow, there's a lot of stuff under here, I think to myself, because now I have found about 12 things I've been looking for, including my light-up pen, last week's science homework, and half a candy bar. I guess that's why Grandma's always after me to vacuum under the bed when I clean my room. Then, way at the back, almost to the wall, I see Cupcake, sitting on my other toe sock. Real slow, I grab one end of the sock and start to pull her out. Are you hurrying? My grandma yells through the door, just as I grab Cupcake off the sock. Poor thing, I say, holding Cupcake against my chest. My heart is beating so fast. Her heart is beating so fast. She must have been scared by her toe sock ride. I lie back down on the bed, give her a chance to nestle. Just for a second, I close my eyes. And the minute I do, this bad feeling comes over me. Then it's like my brain is a broken record. Lisa, 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 Lisa goes through my head over and over and over. And that's when my grandma comes charging into the room, my daddy right behind her. Squeak, Cupcake says and jumps off the bed. Oh no, not again, hollers my daddy, scooping her up off the floor. Get up this minute, yells Grandma, throwing back the covers. Before I know it, Cupcake is back in her cage, I'm wearing rainbow toe socks and my least favorite dress, and I'm hauling out the door on the way to school. It's time for school, they yell. What would my family do without me? If it weren't for me, there wouldn't be anything they agree on. So friends, chapter 2, we don't know too much about our characters right now, but we do know from the introduction we read at the back of the book that we have two main characters here. We've got Drita, who we learned a lot about in chapter 1, and we have Maxie, who we just read about in chapter 2. Now, from the back of the book, the little introduction we read, the little snapshot we got to read, we know that Maxie and Drita are both struggling with something right now. They're both struggling with change, but a different type of change. So what we know about Maxie is that she kind of has a secret that she is hanging on to. She hasn't shared this secret with anyone, but it has something to do with the fact that her dad, her mother, is no longer in the picture. And her dad is kind of seeking new friendships, and she is very insecure about the possibility that maybe he would make friendships with people who could maybe turn into a relationship. So I want you to think, for today's social emotional, about a time when you had to encounter a change. This change might not be as drastic or as big as what we read in chapters 1 and 2, and that's totally fine. But think about a time that either you yourself or your family had to go through a change. How did it feel? How did it feel? Were you uncertain about the change? Were you nervous about changing? Were you excited? Was it a positive change? So in your spiral notebook, take just a few seconds to jot down some thoughts about a time that your family or you personally went through a change. How did you feel? How did you deal with it? Just jot those thoughts down in your spiral notebook. Thank you.